Ghana's Minister for Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, in November 2021, announced the suspension of road toll collection on public roads across the country. Exactly a year after the announcement, the minister has gone back to Parliament to announce the reintroduction of road toll collection on public roads as a revenue measure beginning 2023. In this report, we take a look at the infrastructure that was abandoned following the cancellation of road tolls.
On November 17, 2021, the Minister for Finance, during his presentation of the 2022 Budget Statement and Economic Policy, announced government's decision to cease the collection of road tolls across the country.
Takes effect immediately the budget is approved on appropriation. The toll collection personnel will be reassigned. The expected impact on productivity and reduced environmental pollution will more than offset the revenue foregone by removing the tolls. Tolls, Mr. Speaker, would be abolished on all public roads.
Ahead of the budget's presentation in 2022, the Minister for Roads and Highways, on the night after the Finance Minister's presentation, announced the immediate cessation of toll collection effective November 18, 2021. In a release justifying the immediate implementation of the directive, Kwesi Amoako-Atta said it was to avert further unfortunate incidents of motorists engaging in violence in their refusal to pay tolls. The result of the toll suspension on traffic congestion was immediate from Kaswa to Bobiman and all other public toll centers across the country. Drivers zoomed through toll booths with no hindrance. To the drivers and commuters, this was a huge relief.
My home side toll booth to the if you want to say the car there to me traffic if you want to me move collect one pa. Maybe I'm a fan or traffic touch here pa and there me who say my fa traffic bibia nya ba me who say I'm out from Google I say minimum dia omo ya wa say do I to me tonsu and I say shioma e tonsu na e dia tu kan enu kaka bye and then who say you hu bia tonsu wa hanu bio.
Despite the convenience of the policy to drivers and commuters, the suspension of tolls proved a threat to hundreds of jobs. Persons with disabilities who were employed to man some of the toll booths shared concerns about losing jobs despite an assurance by the government to provide them with alternative jobs.
But the extra said, oh yeah, they all sharing, yes, all sharing. But Omen think of it, say traffic, traffic, mother, traffic.
Beyond the direct jobs affected by the policy, hundreds of indirect jobs were also brought under threat following the suspension of toll collection. Hawkers whose daily bread and livelihoods depended on the existence of the toll centers were quick to voice out their anxiety about the policy.
But me ton idea wa se mi share na SS ni mi share enwa mi ntino to buti na maton idea sana agi mi nsem adwuma ni ntino man kwa SS because we dey me shock obi wa ha akoje obi load and all the adwuma sisia mabe kan ya she sisia.
The concerns from the people directly affected by the policy was rife, but officials of the government were quick to retort that the policy was for a greater good.
The bigger policy, you see the free flow of the traffic and excitement on the faces of the commuters on this road. And obviously, the number of people who are happy are more than the people who are aggrieved. But the people who are aggrieved are my people. That is why I'm here. As small as they are mine, and I have to help them.
For a number of critics of the road toll cessation, the fate of the infrastructure at the various toll centers was as much a concern as the fate of the persons whose jobs had been impacted. But the Minister for Roads and Highways had his own ideas for the toll centers.
Refurbish all those toll booth structures to provide proper and decent washrooms, for instance, for the use by motorists, so that we advise them, to desist from the practice that we see at times. You find out or you see cars stopping, indiscriminately on the highway, and people getting out, to as we usually say it, urinating. You see men on the left, women on the right, or at times you see a man, a woman. It's all indecent. It's not a good practice.
The minister may have been certain in his words, but his certainty failed to translate into reality. Sadly, the scenes at various toll centers across the country tell a different story. Across the capital of the Greater Accra region, several of the toll centers built with scarce state capital are now a scene of ruins. The Kaswa toll booth during its operational days was one of the busiest in the country. Aside serving as a revenue generation point for the state, the Kaswa toll center, just like some others, was the center of business for a lot of traders. But months after its operation ceased, the toll booth lies abandoned with only a handful of hawkers hovering around with hopes of attracting the attention of drivers and commuters who mostly drive with little or no time for engagement. Signs of disrepair are clearly evident. The roof hanging above the Kaswa toll center is tearing apart. Auxiliary parts of the center, such as railings and even toll booths, are suffering from destruction. One of the entry points of the 8-lane toll booths is currently unusable due to its state. On the Accra-Tema motorway also sits one of the biggest toll centers, which used to serve one of the biggest dual carriage highways in the country. With the absence of the manned toll booths collecting revenue for the state, has sprung an avenue for a criminal venture posing risks to the public. A group of men whose activity was captured by GhanaWeb during the filing of this report had set up an illegal U-turn for drivers who need to change their route on the motorway but are unwilling to travel the distance. With no road sign to warn oncoming cars, the illegal U-turn set up by the men proves to be a ticking time bomb that could lead to an accident.
Over here at the Ashaman Toll Plaza, the infrastructure remains intact as compared to other toll centers where the infrastructure has largely been destroyed, and except for the absence of the usual lineup cars that will be here trying to pay their ways through, and the absence of traders selling to commuters, it is expected that from January next year, the Ashaman Toll Plaza, like other toll centers across the country, will bounce back to life.
At Bobiman, the toll center, which serves as one of the entry points welcoming travelers into the capital region, is in a sorry state.
Over here at the Bobiman Toll Center, the situation is no different from other centers. The evidence of ruins and destruction is visible everywhere. This place used to be an office setup, and as you can see, the entire place is a mess. There are remnants of official documents, receipts, as well as exposed wires. From this direction, it looks like an electrical gadget has been taken away, and it is the same for the other offices here. This office here has its lock badly damaged, and it looks like a clear evidence of the actions of some miscreants who took advantage of the situation to break in and probably acquire some loot. There is a bathroom here as well, and the bathroom has had some of the stuff here taken away. Talk about the sink and other things, and it is the situation, and it is the same situation in other toll centers across the national capital.
With an economy faced with revenue challenges and soaring inflation, the government has been compelled to announce a reintroduction of road tolls.
The completed new road will be tolled to recover the whole life cost of the completed infrastructure, as well as pay lenders and provide a return to equity investors. The government of Ghana shall provide funding through GIFT to take equity in the special purpose vehicle to be created by GIFT for the project. Mr. Speaker, PPP projects must be self-financing and they will be tolled.
When the government announced the cessation of toll collection in 2021, some of the concerns shared by critics of the policy included the financial loss to be incurred by the state. Such critics can now take solace in the reintroduction of the collection of tolls. But on another hand, one must be concerned about the resources that will be required to bring the abandoned state cash cows back to life. A GhanaWeb Special, followed by George A.C. and Richard van der Poy.